What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at Letterquest Grimm's Journey Remastered. This is a game that I believe originally came out on mobile. It's also been on Steam for a while, but they've remastered it, polished it, upgraded it, improved it. It is now remastered and available. Now, I've not got a lot of experience with the original one. I have downloaded the mobile bit just to kind of see how the two compare, but obviously I've been taking more of a look at this. So I'm more going to be looking at this on its own merits rather than comparing it to what it originally was. This is by Bacon Bandit Games, and if you couldn't tell from the naming and the cascade of letter tiles falling gently in the background, this is going to be a word game. Now, I kind of have a bit of a soft spot for word games. I'm not big into them, but I do kind of dig playing them. We're going to have a look at the options menu before I get into it properly. You've got resolution options there, and you've got a slider for music and sound effects. You also have the key bindings there, so you can change those. That's about all you really need. There's an option here for soundtrack, because they updated the soundtrack for the remastered version. So you can click this, and the music will just change back to the original version. I kind of dig the new soundtrack. I rather like this new soundtrack. It's got some cool music in there, so I'm going to be sticking with that. But yeah, that's, as I say, it's mostly a mobile port, so that's pretty much all you really need in terms of options. So let's head on into story mode. I have a map of levels. So far, so mobile. There's 3 stars for each level. It's kind of not a performance thing. Normally, when you see 3 stars, it's going to be like, this is how well you did on each level. And no, each level's designed with a lot of replayability in mind. So you're going to be, if you go into a level, let's snag, let's say that one. You got your first star is simply just finish the level, defeat all the monsters in a level. If you take the second star to earn an entirely separate second star, you now got to do the entire level with a time limit. It's a kind of a time trial level. So you got to move fast and think faster, make words faster. And then third star is a special challenge. So a lot of the enemies are going to have special abilities. They might have more health, more damage. They might only take damage from words with the letter E in them or something, I don't know. There's usually some sort of weird twist things. As you can see in this particular one, all monsters will add spike tiles to the board. We have a look at this one. All the letters from the second half of the alphabet are banned, so there's a few interesting challenges in here. This one's got monsters do more damage, a fairly simple one. Monsters have more health, again. Words under 4 letters do no damage, so you're going to have to think up some more longer, more wordy things. And then, once you've done all those 3 original challenges, if we have a look, there's a few that I've got them. Each of the levels has a red star available, or a crystal star. I'm not sure if I think they call it a crystal star, yeah. Basically, all the monsters are elite, and yeah, they're going to hit harder, they're going to have a lot more health, they're going to have special abilities and things, and have special conditions. That's going to be a lot more challenging. I don't think that's designed to be done until you've upgraded. Because the first level I did, I was like, okay, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and let's do the crystal star. I know how to make words. Let's do that. Yeah, I got destroyed. The first attempt at doing that crystal star, you get destroyed. So there are upgrades to be had for your character. We'll have a look at those after I do a level. Let's do a level. Let's actually get some gameplay on the go. So stage 12, defeat all monsters. Let's go in. Let's do it. Stage 12. Okay, so this is our character. This is Rose. This is actually an alternative character. There are 2 characters in this game. I believe the original only had 1, so I think Rose is an additional character for the remastered one. She's unlocked once you've got 30 stars from all the levels. So they're both kind of a Grim Reaper-y kind of character. She's just a Grim Reaper for hire. We have a tile of letters at the bottom. They all have different dot values on them, so the bronze ones are just sort of base value 1 tiles. Some of the rarer letters have 2 dots in silver. They are slightly more powerful. And some of the rare letters like K and J are going to be the most powerful. They will do the most damage to the enemy if used in a word. You can see I've got a few abilities that you don't get off the bat to begin with, but you can earn them and unlock them by making progress. Is that I will be able to see on my health bar now when an enemy attacks me, it's going to show me exactly how much damage that's going to do. And if I let's say case, let's see, so that'll show me how much damage that's going to do. That's not going to do a lot of damage in this instance. I'm sure there's probably some better ones we could do. Let's see, pokes. So that's a more powerful word now. We've got the gold K in the middle of it, so that's going to hit the enemy a little bit harder. Is there anything? Is pokies. Pokies is a word, so that's even longer. Great. So a 6-letter word with gold in it. That's going to do a chunk of damage. The longer the word, the more value of dots you have in it, the more powerful it's going to be. There'll be special tiles as well, so let's go through. Let's see what we can do. Got flipped, that makes it tricky to read. Oh, that's a new one. I've been playing for like about 3 hours now. It keeps throwing new stuff at me, so it just keeps things kind of interesting. As, yeah, pokies are... Also got this, it gives you a bit of a definition of it. Looking at the Android version, I guess the original didn't have that. It's now actually pulls dictionary definitions of what you've done. I've never heard of pokies to refer to as a jail, but apparently it is. That's a jail now. So these are new. I guess they're not. That's not really gonna hurt you, especially in this instance where you're not against the clock. You've got all the time in the world to, you know, make a word out of these, even though they're upside down. In a time trial, I imagine these would be kind of nasty because you'd be like, oh, what am I trying to make? So Nail. There's no D. Could just go nail, I suppose. That's a very cheap word. It's not going to do much. But we've got the citrine, the orange gems. The orange gem is going to act to heal my character, so I'll restore 15% of my health when I use that in a word. These aren't really going to do much. There's a lot more worse powers you can be hit by. There's stuff like poison will damage you when you use that word. Spikes will damage you when you use that word. There are wind tiles which change the letter every turn. Each turn of the game, or any tile that's been hit by a cyclone will vary. So there's a bunch of different effects that can affect the letters to mess things up and try and trip you up a little bit. I kind of feel like I should be able to do something better there. No, let's go with that. Nail it is. My problem with this... Oh, there's those cyclone tiles. My problem with this, as regards making a video at any rate, is with word games, have a really bad tendency to just sit and stare at it for like 10 minutes trying to find the optimal word. That's probably not a fast or effective way to play the game. I could probably get away with far, far less complexities. But I'll sit there and I'll go, oh, here's a 6-letter word. Could I make a more effective 6-letter word? Or could I make a 7-letter word? And I'll sit there for ages staring at it, which I kind of don't want to do for you guys, because that could be good. That could take a while. So we've got these ones. These ones now, they change every turn, which is probably for best, because I've got lots of E's on the board already, and I don't want them. And I've got a lot of A's on the board, and I don't really want them. If you really, really absolutely detest the board, you can hit this, and that will switch everything out, but that will let the enemy take a turn as well. So, yeah, if you have an enemy in front of you on the board, you kind of need to weigh that up against... Yeah, the loss of health, you need to weigh that up against whether, you know, you're prepared to take that or not. There's also a potion. You can buy potions from one of the vendors. They cost 100 gems. That will restore a chunk of your health if you're having trouble with a particular level. And you can use it also for a similar price. I believe you can buy these purify potions. That will let me clear all those off the board. We've also got this purple one here. The purple one gives me steel health, so it'd be useful to use this in a word. Let's see what we've got. I'm struggling with this one. I really want to use that E. L-E... That is a word. It's not a long word. But I'm not seeing... Is Leam a word? Leam is not a word. It's also that issue. I mean, I've had this with word games in the past. You probably get this with every word game, I imagine. Is you'll sit there and you go, is league a word? No. Well, I suppose it actually, yeah, it is. League is a word. I can have that. That's actually a pretty good word. I got that, but I'll be like, is a leak a word? No. Those are bad examples, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'm going to go with league. Let's get rid of that because that one's obnoxious and upside down. It's got a little counter so you can see how long that's going to be in play for. So, give that 2 turns, that would go away and would return to its normal form. Same for these cyclones. I guess that's as good as I'm going to get, so boom, hit him for that. So 73 damage, and I've got some health steal going on now because I took that power up, so when I hit enemies I'm going to be getting a little bit of my health back. That'll keep me alive a bit longer. That's going to be useful in some of the harder levels. Let's see. Oh, right. We've got... These words, these letters have now changed, which was good because they were all the same letter and kind of obnoxious. So, quit... Yeah, let's go with quit. It's got a Q in it, it's powerful, sort of. Not as powerful as League. League was pretty potent. Okay. And... Dang it. I had something for this. No. Pays. I don't know. That looks like that's enough damage to finish the job anyway, so I don't suppose I need to sit here and think about it. The problem is I will under normal circumstances, sit here and think about it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, I can get a better word than pays. Let me find a better word than pays. But I don't need to. That's gonna finish the job anyway. It's gonna finish this guy off. And he will drop gems, and gems are our currency, so we want to collect those. You get power-ups that might, power-ups and perks and things that might mean that they will drop a little bit extra. So if you want to earn more currency to spend on upgrades, that's a little better. Alright. Let's see what we've got. Coop. Let's go with Coop. Have a Coop. We've got a Z in play now. That's worth a lot. I mean, we've got Z and 2 X's. Are there any words that use an X and a Z? There might actually be, but can't think of any at the minute. Oh well. I could have a maze. That's a potent word. This guy's not doing any special effects on me, so it's not too interesting. Hang on, G-A-L-A-X-Y. That's a word that finishes an opponent off. And he drops a power-up as well. That's a shield power-up. Oh, we do have another enemy upcoming, so that might come in useful. We have a vendor. Sometimes you will run into these vendors. All the levels are predefined, so if you do this level, you'll run into the vendor each time. And for an exchange of some of your gems, you can buy these power-ups. Now, I've got full health, I've got shields, I'm not quite sure I need any at this stage, but yeah, we can take the shield, we can take increased damage, so it's only for 1 turn as well, mind you, so I kind of assumed it was 3, because most of the power-ups you pick up are 3, but yeah, these vendor ones, I guess, are only for one turn, and bacon if you want to restore some health, because bacon, I guess. Something about video games and bacon, I guess. Okay, let's go. Rodeo. That's a worthwhile one, and that gives me a damage bonus because it's got the red tile in it. There's some plague. Is that plague or is it poison? That's poison. Plague's more of a purple color, I think. Poison basically means if I use again, we've got the 3 timer on it. It's going to be here for 3 turns. If I use any of these tiles within the next 3 turns, I will take a bunch of damage. There are a bunch of quests that you kind of get. I can bring those up if I press escape to bring up pause. There's kind of, I guess, 20... there's 70 quests in the game. I've done 20. Each time you finish one, it'll just replace it with another one. Or you can pay a small amount of gems to remove it and replace it with a new one if you're having trouble with them. So some of them will say... Sometimes you will get a quest that says use 5 poison tiles. So in order to get those, you'll need to do that. And that's a pretty good way of earning the currency in the game. The quests are far more effective ways to get... There are far more effective ways to earn the currency in the game than actually playing the levels, I've found, really, because, I mean, you're getting like 250 at a time. Playing one of the levels, you'll get maybe about 100 if you're lucky from the level, and you'll get maybe 50 for finishing levels. That's about 150, but if you finish one of these quests, that's like 250 right there. Admittedly, some of these ones are a little more niche. I guess the 3-letter words is easy enough to do, but I'm not going to be inclined to do that, just on the basis that it's not an effective or efficient way to play. But I'll get it sooner or later. Treasure chests are a mini-game that kind of pops up occasionally. It's kind of you're basically just playing hangman, quite frankly. He'll give you a word and you have to guess at letters, and if you get them all correctly before you run out of attempts, you'll get yourself a buff. I don't think we've got one on this level, but yeah, they'll pop up from time to time. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to use a poison tile there. Whirler. That's a great word. So I take a little bit of damage because I had the poison. This guy has an ability that... well, to be fair, this guy has an ability that just drops gems. I'm not sure how that's beneficial to the opponent, but I really won't complain too much about it. So... let's make another word. I'm not seeing much that's terribly useful here. Could get one of those. That might fit. That's one that'll go towards my 3-letter quest, and it's actually surprisingly potent because it's got an X in it. So that should finish the job. Hooray! Then at the end of most of the levels, sometimes if you're like unlocking a character or something to go to the shop, this bit will be skipped and it'll just be like, "Hooray! Thank you, you freed me." But at the end of a lot of levels, you'll get this big pile of gems. And the longer the word that you use, or the higher the value of the word that you use, the more gems this pile will drop. So if I were just to say, I don't know, ton. That would be a really... In fact, can you use 2? You can't use 2-letter words, I guess. Ton, yeah, that won't drop me many gems if I were to do that. But let's see what else we can do. I'm not finding any good words in this one. I probably could, actually, if I stopped and stared at it, but such is my problem. Yes, you know. Let's see. S-T-O-V-E? Stoven a word? Stoven is not a word. Well, worth a try. Gotta check these things. Stove's a better word. There we go. And you'll get a bunch of gems from it at the end. That pushes me up to 118 for the level. Books are leveled up with XP. Each level's got a number of XP that it will award, and you'll know what you've got going in. It'll tell you before you go in you got XP. The books, so we shall see. If we go to the store, there's my first start for the level, so I've got 2 more options to replay this. Going to the store, the books are quite here. I've got a variety of them. They're, again, bought for gems. I've got basic upgrades. Most of these are just kind of basic stat upgrades, so more health, more damage, reduced damage taken, better dodge chance, get more gems from enemies, better chance of crystals showing up, so you got more power-ups. Potions are now more effective. You're allowed to carry more potions. You got these kind of things going on. The books are a little bit more interesting. You're allowed to carry 3 at once. You got to play for a while. I mean, I don't... Like I say, I've been playing for about 3 hours or so. I've only just unlocked the second book, kind of towards the back end of that playtime. I don't know how far into the game you've got to go to unlock all 3 book slots, but yeah, you can equip 3 books at a time, and then the levels will award XP. And then once they level up, they'll become better. So we've got something like this. Yeah, currently the monsters drop 14% more gems. When this level's up to 17% more gems, and you'll just slowly accumulate more money. So I feel like that's a useful one. I tend to lean towards the higher level, the higher length words, so I feel like having a bonus to 6-letter or longer words is advantageous for someone like me. If you want to make shorter words, there's something like duality, is more advantageous, just more towards spelling specific kinds of words. We've got easier guessing, improves those mini games, so on a number of levels you're going to have an easier chance of getting power-ups of things. Over the potions, I say, there's just kind of those 2 potions. They may unlock more later on, I'm not sure, but at the moment I've just seen these 2, so they're 100 gems each, and they're just useful kind of in a pinch. We've got the monster health bar. These are kind of special things, yeah, so that tells me how much damage I'm going to do to an enemy when I hit it, and that tells me how much the enemies are going to do to me when they hit me. They are not unlocked by default, but they're fairly cheap, and you can pick them up, and they seem to be quite useful. They're not essential, but they're nice to have. Heroes, again, I think there's only the 2 heroes that I'm aware of. They're just statistically very similar. If we click on details, you can see the 2 characters. It's just slight statistical tweaks. It's, for the most part, more cosmetic than anything else. So, Rose has slightly less health. She's got slightly higher crit chance, but does lower crit damage. She's got a little bit more armor and a little higher dodge chance. Her potions are a little bit more effective, but the chances of her drawing a crystal tile to give her special powers is a little bit lower as well. So, like I say, it's just a statistical change for the most part. Got a variety of weapons. They need to be unlocked first, so there are a variety of different conditions. So, have a look at that one. I have to earn 10 crystal stars before I can use the Bone Crusher. From the Prehistoric Pummeler, I need to deal 15,000 damage total. So, most of these you'll just kind of get slowly as you play through the game. So, heals a lot. Obliterate, Rejuvenate. Heals. Potions are more effective. Just done for using potions, and I've never really found the call to use them as of yet. Oh, excuse me. I feel like on the later levels or on some of the hard levels you might want them, but just going through the standard content early on, I've not found any call for it, so I've not really used many potions. Each of these weapons can then be upgraded as well, so if we took a look at the lightsaber, we've got reduced damage from monsters by 1. If I was to click upgrade, I could spend 400 and upgrade it again. Could take a look at... I kind of like the crystal tile one, let's go with the crystal one. Upgrade there. So they have a bunch of levels as well. You can see the little green marks underneath, so they upgrade as you go along. So there's quite a lot to progress through. If we're talking about actual progression in this game, there's a lot to go back and buy. And then we've got, again, cosmetically, we've got these tiles. These are just for making a certain number of words, as far as I can make out. Yeah, 300, 600, 1,000, 1,500 words. So the more you play the game, the further you'll get through these. And you've got different styles of tiles, which is, yeah, as I say, it's purely cosmetic, really. But there's a lot to dig into if you want to start making progression through this game. There's a lot to unlock. There's a lot to progress through. One of the things that kind of intrigued me to look at was basically, we're talking about a game that was originally a mobile game, and we've got this gem system in place. And, well, originally on mobile it was free to play, so one kind of is led to wonder, it is frequently the case with mobile games that are free-to-play that progression is going to be intentionally limited so that you'll be encouraged to buy the gems, for these gems were available for purchase for real money transactions in their store. You go into the store, there's another tab up there on the mobile version that says, hey, would you like to buy some gems? You can have 5,000 gems for however much money. Admittedly, compared to a lot of games, they seem to be fairly reasonably priced. You could buy quite a lot of gems for not a lot of money. It was actually pretty decent. But I was like, interesting to see how that would translate to this. And as far as I can see, they don't appear to have rebalanced it to any great extent. All the enemies seem to drop similar amounts of gems. All the quests reward the same amount. If I go click on that, 100 gems, it's going to be pretty much the same on mobile. If we go and do the quests, all the quest costs and rewards are pretty much the same. They don't seem to have changed it much, which kind of leaves me feeling like a little bit like, is it not balanced properly for PC for a paid market? But at the same time, I've not really run into any issues. I do feel like with the quest system in place, you are getting 200, 250 gems reasonably frequently, and then the levels themselves are paying out kind of enough that you can, after most levels, you can go into the store and pick up something of interest. So I don't feel it's too unfairly balanced, all things considered. Which I will say does surprise me, because it's not normally the case with these things. And even more so given the fact that it doesn't appear to have been rebalanced at all, which you would have thought would be the case. But there you go, that is a word game. I don't know how much there is to explain, in regard to the depth of mechanics. It's a word game. If you like word games, you'll like word games, and I think this is a reasonably complex and interesting word game. There's a lot of interesting things going on to keep you engaged. A lot of word games can be a little bland. I mean, I spent a lot of time playing a game called Spell Tower that was just make the longest words you can as often as you can. This has got some interesting things to keep you engaged, especially with the hard levels. If you go have a look at some of the hard levels, the enemies are going to be a lot tougher, and it's going to give you an actual run for your money, and you need to think tactically and try and make the longest words and most complex words as possible. So, I think it's kind of cute. I like the style, I like the music, and it's actually pretty interesting. So, yeah, that is LetterQuest Remastered. This is out now on Steam, it's available on Windows, Mac, and their store page claims Linux, but Steam doesn't say Linux, so I'm not sure what's going on there. If you're looking to buy it on Linux, I would do your own research and figure out what's going on with that, because there are two conflicting sources that say different things there. It's available for £5.59, and there is a launch week discount, so if you pick it up now, yeah, you can get a little bit off that. If you're into this kind of a wordy puzzle, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, all things considered, I still feel like I would like to play this more on mobile. More so than anything else. Just on the basis that word games I feel are better suited to mobile. I don't know how much I care for sitting down on my PC and playing word games like this, but I guess there might well be a market for that kind of thing. But for me personally, sort of a word game is the sort of thing you might play on the train on your phone. And as I say, historically, this is the kind of thing I have played on a train on the phone. So, yeah, I guess taste may vary. This may not be necessarily a perfect desktop title for me, but just as a title generally, it's pretty cool. So there you go. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Meroka. This has been LetterQuest Grimm's Journey Remastered. Yeah!